how can they support the death of anyone, Christian, Muslim? I mean, it's like the state of Israel is like 100% a terroristic state. I mean, they literally just cause problems.
Welcome to another episode of the Olive Roots podcast. I'm your host, Chose Ayub. Today we have a young man. He's an aviation student, and his name is Jeb Baugh.
Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions of dollars. We have lost American servicemen.
Jeb!
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great.
What time is it over there? You're 1 hour behind?
It is about 3 o'clock right now.
All right.
2
It's
p.m.
4 here. And where are you?
I'm in North Dakota, Grand Forks, North Dakota.
North Dakota, man. It's probably beautiful over there, isn't it?
Mostly it's just flat. If you go out west a little bit, it's hilly.
Oh, so where you are, it's more flattish.
Yeah, mostly flat farmland. Minnesota's really pretty, though.
I've been to Montana. It was pretty flat till you get to the west side of Montana, and then you can see the mountains and whatnot. It was really nice over there.
Yeah, most of eastern Montana, that's pretty much how all of North Dakota looks.
I see. All right. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Jeb, today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man, I found you randomly on Instagram, so I figured we probably have some things in common. So I was like, let me bring him on the show. It's a young man, American guy, Christian, white American guy. So I'm like, okay, this will be perfect on my show because I have people from all around the world and all walks of life that watch my podcast. So it's good for them to hear your perspective and your story as well. So we'll begin first with your identity. I would love for you to share with the viewers your identity. Where were you born? How were you born? Did you move around? And where are you today? So the floor is yours, brother.
All right. So yeah, I'm originally from North Dakota. I was born in a small town, North Dakota, and then I moved to Fargo, which is a bigger city. It's probably the biggest city in North Dakota. And I lived there till I was about like 7 or 8. And then I moved down to Texas. And I lived in Texas, went to middle school, high school in Texas. And, the cultural differences between North Dakota and Texas are very sharp. North Dakota is very Midwestern, mostly white. Texas is a lot more like diversity and stuff like that. Obviously, the South is a lot different culture too. I like the food in the South, though, for sure. I've always been interested in politics and history. It's always fascinated to me. And you kind of have to have a good grasp of history and anthropology, religion, philosophy to, have a good grasp of politics. So that's something that's always interested me. And then I came up to here for aviation school. I got my private pilot's license while I was in high school. And basically what I started this political journey is about a month ago. Glenn Beck, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Glenn Beck came to University of North Dakota, and a clip of me went pretty viral. I pretty much asked him, I was like, why are we supporting Israel when Israel, blew up the USS Liberty? They're getting us involved in their foreign wars. They're killing Christians in Gaza. And Glenn Beck really didn't know what to say. He kind of just started talking about radical Islam like all the other neocons do.
We're lobbying everybody else, and they will...
No one's clapping for your first. Charlie was starting to notice about the Israel lobby.
Could I answer my question? Could I answer the question, please?
You're talking about one thing they don't teach in school? They don't teach about the USS Liberty, where Israel literally came, blew up an American ship because they want us to get in their war with Egypt, and they don't teach that in school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question.
I have a question. Why is there this societal taboo around criticisms of Israel? For example, AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, but like the Australia lobby does. And it just...
And that should be changed. That should be corrected. Look, I am not going to say Israel should have any special privileges. None.
They always blame it on Islam. So that, and then I was like, okay, well, that clip went pretty viral. Candace Owens reposted it. A lot of other influencers, Stu Peters, some other people too. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I could start making political content. And my account, I'm at like 26,000 followers, I think I checked today. And I've been doing this for a little over a month.
Wow. So in a month, you racked up more than 20,000 subscribers, followers.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Wow. So
impressive.
yeah,
I'm
I
very
remember
grateful.
now that video I saw of you. Was it at his show
Tick
or is it
USA
Turning
event.
Point?
It was a turning point event here at the University of North Dakota. Charlie was originally supposed to come.
Okay, okay. And I saw he was getting hot. He took off his jacket.
Yep. Yeah, he
And
was very nervous. He just didn't know what to say. After me, he was like, all right, I'll take one more question after this, and then we're done.
wow. This
Yeah.
guy has been a mouthpiece for the Zionist state for like 20 years plus, right?
Oh yeah. He's always been on the Zio boat.
Okay, so growing up in, you said North Dakota?
Mhm.
Growing up in North Dakota, how was it growing up there? Tell me about the demographic, a little bit more about the upbringing and the family.
I always went, like, even when I lived in Texas, went to high school, I always came back up to North Dakota for the summers because that's where most of my family's from. It's very safe. I mean, kids play outside. It's pretty culturally homogenous societies in North Dakota. Um, I like being in North Dakota. The summers are nice, winters are obviously very cold. But Texas, it's a lot different. I mean, there's a lot more crime. But I like both cultural aspects of the South and the North for sure.
Where were you in Texas?
East Texas. Town's called Texarkana, so half of it's Texas, half of it's Arkansas. Texarkana. So yeah.
Oh, is it predominantly like Hispanic, white, black?
I would say it's probably about a third of each.
Okay, it's pretty mixed.
Third black, third Hispanic, third white. I say.
Well, I know most of the Palestinians and the Arabs are in Houston.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one. It's one of my mom's friends too, but kind of like a family friend. She's Palestinian, so we talk and we agree on a lot of stuff. She's more left leaning for sure, but we agree. We're very both anti-Zionist.
It's interesting how the left wing and the right wing ended up coming in the same
Coming together.
spot.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
That
I
is,
think
yeah, that's good. Yeah, go ahead.
I think these elites and stuff, I mean, the Zionists, they try to always divide us on, Christian and Muslim, left and right, stuff like that to keep us away from the real issues that face our countries.
Yeah, I mean, America has been getting worsely divided, man, and it all comes from the politics. And I call it the left wing, right wing, same dragon. All right,
Yeah,
not
two
even the same
snakes
bird.
of the two heads of the same snake. That's what I like to say.
Yeah,
Two
and
sides of the same coin.
these governments, they don't serve the people, man. They
And I'm,
serve money and they serve the Antichrist Zionist state,
yep.
you know?
And it's almost like, the Democrats and Republicans, it's like two people playing chess, and like, the chess pieces are against each other, but the two people playing chess are usually friends. So that's how I look at it too.
Oh yeah, they that dragon or bird with the two wings have the same beak, you know? So okay, that's a little bit about Texas and North Dakota where you were raised and where you grew up, and now you're in aviation school. Now tell me a little bit about your faith journey. How were you raised and where are you today with the faith?
So I was baptized as a Lutheran as a baby. And then when I moved down to Texas, I went to a Methodist church because, Lutheran's mainly like a Scandinavian and German religion. So most people in North Dakota are, Scandinavian German. Most people in the South are usually English and Scottish. So I went to a Methodist church in Texas.
And how was it?
I thought they were both pretty similar. I enjoyed it. I went probably twice a month, I could say regularly. And then when I was younger, I went on Wednesdays as well.
Yeah, I heard the Methodist Church is taking a stance being against the genocide in Palestine, from what I heard.
Really, I haven't heard about that, but yeah, that'd be awesome if they did.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about you waking up to the Zionists and how did that come about?
Well, I was pretty early on the train, to be honest with you. I first started looking into it like COVID. I thought COVID was a little sketchy, and my parents are in the medical field as well, so I kind of disagreed with them a lot on a lot of stuff from that. And then about 2021, I like working out and going to the gym. So I was like, seed oils. I don't know if you know about like seed oils, but like seed oils are like really bad for you. And, they're kind of portrayed as like, oh, they aren't bad for you. So I looked in that, and then it kind of just like started a train. It's like, well, if they're lying about one thing, what else are they lying about? So about 2022, I was like, started realizing the Zionist influence over our governments. I mean, pretty much since Kennedy, that's when they really took over. After Kennedy got killed, I think that's when the Zionists really took over the American government.
Yeah, I think Kennedy was the last true American president.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he was not perfect, but he
No,
was trying to
yeah.
fight them, you know?
Yeah, he didn't want Israel to have nukes. He was against, I think it was Operation Northwoods, I want to say, where the generals wanted to, do a false attack on American soil to invade Cuba. But yeah, I mean, if the more you read in history, you more see this stuff has been happening. It's not just like something that's been started in the 21st century, an issue. It's been happening throughout history, and people have been seeing it throughout history. And, victors do kind of write the history books.
That's true. That's true. I mean, as a young guy, man, you're what, 19, 20?
19, yes, sir. Just
Yes,
turned
you're
19.
19, almost about to be 20. And you see like how the history books are being rewritten, and they're not telling the true story of, for example, World War I, World War II, the Holodomor, the Bolshevik Revolution, killing Christians and Muslims in millions, and then going to do the same, communism doing the same to Germany. And the Austrian painter was like, not on my watch. Then he went mayhem.
Yeah,
And
he's the most demonized guy in history.
yeah, well, those group of people hate him so much, but they hate Jesus even more, right?
Yep.
These are the two people they mostly hate. So 2 years ago, you start hearing about something happening in Israel, and then all of a sudden you see what's coming out of Gaza. What was your reaction?
Well, I was like, this has to be a false flag attack. I mean, the Mossad is probably the most advanced surveillance, agency in the world. I would say even more advanced than the CIA. And how do they not see, people coming on paragliders and tunnels? And they did an attack for what was like 6 or 7 hours. And I think they definitely use it as an excuse to, genocide Gaza 100%. That's the first thing I thought. This is a false, like they wanted this to happen. Benjamin Netanyahu was like hoping for this day, and they knew it was coming, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, they got a warning from Egypt the day before. And there was also somebody working in the control by the fence that they built a wall. And he told them something is happening. And then the Israeli government came and confiscated his equipment and said, took it. And they said, you're out of job for a week. And then 2 days later, the attack happened.
Really?
And he was crying because he knew it was going to happen. And he knew some people are going to be killed. So he felt really betrayed by his own government. And that clip, you can still find it in the underground tunnels, but they deleted it, man. It's like in the black net right now, the dark net. So, okay, so you saw the attack of Hamas. How much did you know about Hamas and Palestine and the Palestinian-Israeli, as they call it, conflict?
Well, I've known about Palestinians, and I've known that it's kind of been an occupied land. I mean, I knew about the Balfour Declaration, and I know these Jewish settlers pretty much just came in there and kicked them out of their homes. So I knew about that, and I think they literally came and invade, Israel, Palestine, and they hate Muslims, and they want U.S. to pretty much, fight all their wars. I mean, we took out Iraq, we took out Syria. All the Gulf states are now on board with pretty much Zionism. And I wasn't surprised that Israel did it at all. I mean, but it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we've been dealing with this for almost 77 years plus, right? Maybe almost 80 years, because even before 1948, they came and started blowing up hotels, the King David's Hotel, killing British people because it was a British mandate, right? We were colonized by the Brits, and before that by the Ottoman Empire, and we can keep going and going. But yeah, like, a bird cannot fly over Gaza without the Mossad knowing, right?
Yeah.
So for them to have a big, I don't know, tractor to break the fence. And I don't know if you noticed, like between the fence where it's called Israel occupied Palestine, as I call it, and Gaza, there's a buffer zone. And the buffer zone is a long distance, acres and acres, hundreds of acres away. So there's no way that Hamas from Gaza went through this buffer zone for hundreds and hundreds of acres without all the monitoring system and the drones and the cameras, knowing that, hey, there's armed people coming towards the Israeli fence. And yeah, man, it was a whole show. It was like a
Yeah.
movie, you
Yeah.
know? And then you learn about the Hannibal Directive, right? Israel used that to kill its own people so they don't get kidnapped, as they call it. And then they called all those people victims, even though they're IDF soldiers that
Amen.
were off duty. And I don't know if you noticed, but a couple of days before that festival that happened, it was supposed to happen somewhere else.
Really, I didn't know that.
Then 2 or 3 days before the festival, they relocated it right next to Gaza.
Really, wow. I'm not surprised.
And then
That's not the first time Israel, staged an attack on the U.S.
oh
Or,
yeah,
I mean, staged an attack in general.
100%. 9/11 USS Liberty ship and Kennedy. I mean, we can keep going. Now we have the Epstein Files.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was very interesting that also some people said that they were worshiping a pagan god in that festival.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like a lot of those people are involved with Kabbalah, which is Jewish magic. That's where the star comes from, Star of Remphan, that they call the Star of David. And they do a lot of magic. I mean, there's the only religion I've seen in the world that they dance to house and techno while they're like praying.
Really?
You go to the mosque, people are reading their book, they're chanting from the book, choir voice. You go to the churches, the traditional church, same thing, right? It's it's very humble, very meek, not party, no music really. And then you look at these other group of people and it's like and they put the cube and they put the tefillin on their hands and they're like, Mashiach, Mashiach, the Messiah is coming. And I'm like, man, you guys missed the Messiah 2,000 years ago, bro.
And the Jews have manipulated a lot of Christians too. Do you know about the Schofield Bible?
Yeah. Tell the audience a little bit.
He created the Schofield Bible, and it was funded by the Rothschilds, and it pretty much infiltrated a lot of these evangelical. And I noticed a lot in the South. It was really bad. A lot of Baptist churches too, and it pretty much creates this narrative that Jews are God's chosen people, and it's biblical that the state of Israel is biblical somehow.
Yeah,
I think it's completely false.
C.I. Schofield, I think that's his name. And then you have
right.
John Darby that pushed dispensationalism.
Yeah.
What did you think when you first heard that the Jews in that Zionist state that deny and hate Jesus Christ are God's chosen people? Like, how did you digest that?
I never understood that concept, because always in my head I'm like, well, the Jews, when their so-called Messiah comes back, that's going to be Christians' Antichrist. So I never really understood that. I'd never understood how people could comprehend that Jews are God's chosen people and literally their Messiah is our Antichrist. Like they can't, like, it doesn't work together.
Yeah, because it's also interesting in Islam, they're waiting on Jesus too. I don't know if you know this.
They respect Jesus, and they respect the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, and they believe that Jesus will come and finish the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting that both of those faiths that have differences, of course, and from both groups, there's extremists, not just from Muslims. Zionism, look at Zionist Christians. That's extremism. That's like ISIS, right? They just wear suits,
Yeah, you say ISIS. Also, I got a funny thing I just can never really wrap my head around. Why does ISIS and Al-Qaeda never attack Israel? You think that would be their biggest enemy. They always attack, other Muslim nations and, European and the West, your Western nations. Like, why is that,
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Israeli secret intelligence services.
Yeah, has to be.
because they call it supposedly Islamic State Syrian Iraqi or Syrian Iraqi Islamic State. And I'm like, yeah, but they never attack the Zionist state, but they're attacking everybody else. They're killing not just Christians, they're killing Muslims too, man. They don't
Yeah.
care, you know?
I know.
It's kind of like what's happening in Sudan right now. I don't know if you know much about
I
what's
haven't read
happening
that
in
much
Sudan.
into it, but yeah.
Man, there was a video from Google Earth where you can see the bloodstains of human bodies.
Really? Wow.
Thousands and
Okay, I
thousands.
think I do know what you're talking about now. I think I've seen
Yeah.
it.
And that group of people that are killing all the innocent Sudanese people, men, women, and children, they're funded by the UAE, United Arab Emirates, Israel, and America.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Sudan has gold.
Makes sense.
Think about also, they're talking about Nigeria, that there is a group of Muslims killing Christians. Well, they're killing Muslims too, by the way.
Yeah.
And do you know why America all of a sudden wants to go to Nigeria?
Oil, I'm guessing.
Oil.
Oil, yeah.
Why do they want to go to Venezuela?
Oil.
Oil. So you can see the pattern,
Mhm.
right? And I bet you behind America is not the American decision. It's the Rothschild.
Yeah, it's not the American people's decision.
100%.
I-
So, okay, so you start seeing after October 7, as they call it, you start seeing videos and pictures coming out of Gaza. And I'm sure as a 19-year-old, you've never seen anything like I've never seen anything like this
Yeah,
that is
I
real.
didn't.
So
Yeah.
tell me about, like, as a Christian, as an American, knowing that your tax dollars, without you wanting that, is funding that, and then you see those videos and pictures coming out of the land of Christ.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just terrible, and all our politicians still support it unconditionally, and they encourage it. I'm pretty sure Randy Fine, that's his name, congressman from Florida. He was like, "I hope the streets of Gaza fill with blood." This was like 2 weeks after. I mean, it's just like, how can they support the death of anyone, Christian, Muslim? I mean, it's like the state of Israel is like 100% a terroristic state. I mean, they literally just cause problems.
Yeah, I mean, their whole state started with terrorism. If you learn about the Irgun, the Haganah, the Lehi, those three became the IDF, as I call it, the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Forces, or the Israeli Terrorist Forces. But look at the branding, the Israeli Defense Forces, right?
What do you think Israel's going to try to make like the Greater Israel Project?
I don't think they're going to be able to, because that's like try to ethnic cleanse 7 countries.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about them taking Gaza and the West Bank. That will be the easiest way to do it, because Hamas is the only resistance. The West Bank doesn't have really resistance. It has people like me and you, no guns, just whatever you can find to protect your family. So that can be done easily. Syria is already gone. You already saw the Al-Qaeda new president.
Yep. Came to the White House.
Came in the White House, and Trump is spraying cologne at him.
Yeah.
And I think then you have the Saudi Arabia. He's buddy with Trump. He's already in the U.S. right now. So, and they're Baha'is, which are different kind of sector. And I don't know if you notice, people in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, we're very different. We're Levantines, right? We're from Shem, Semites. We're the real Semites, actually. And Saudi Arabia is more the Arab country, and we don't look similar. We don't eat the same food. Yes, we speak Arabic, but they're very different culture, right? Just like us in Morocco, very different culture. I love Moroccan people, but the culture is different. The language is different,
The same
It's
way,
like,
Poland or Spain would be different.
and exactly, yeah. Like Poland, England, Germany, totally different. But, he's here now, so that's Saudi Arabia. Then you have Jordan, has the king. I think he's a Rothschild king of Jordan. Then you have Iraq. Iraq is already destroyed, right? Because of weapons of mass destruction.
Yep.
They wanted a little bit of Turkey, but I don't think they're going to be able to get Erdogan to take it, because Erdogan also want to have the Greater Turkey.
Yeah.
So they're going to split Syria, where it used to be Kurdistan, to part of Greater Israel, part of Greater Turkey. So the only country that ends up being where the Euphrates is Iran.
Yeah. Iran's the only one that's really sticking up to Israel. They're the
That's
last,
it.
the last bastion.
That's the last country with an army and actual nuclear weapons.
Hmm.
You
And
know,
it's okay. I got a question for you. How do you originally feel about Trump, and how do you feel about him now?
I think in 2016 I saw that there was a guy for the people, right?
Mm-hmm. I
And he
agree.
was not a political guy, he was a businessman. And he was not really extremist, he was not really Republican, not really Democrat, maybe more Democrat than anything. And then he was like, "Make America great again." And I was like, "Yay!
Yeah.
America's
Yeah.
gonna be great. He's a businessman. We need a businessman to be the president. Make good relationship with other countries, trading, boost the economy, end homelessness, prostitution." He
More
says,
jobs in America.
"Yeah,
All
bring
that good
jobs to
stuff.
America, bring the industry of making stuff here rather than
Hmm.
importing. Maybe we can export more stuff." And supposedly he was surrounded by some Christians. So I'm like, maybe better Christian values, right? And then he wins, and we're like, "Yay! Somebody new." And then he start saying weird stuff that he never
Yeah.
said before, and we're like, "Okay, he's got a potty mouth. He's not well, like very neat like Obama how he speaks, right? Or Bush or them or Clinton. He's a little bit wild." So I'm like, "Well, okay, that's America. We're wild people here, right?" And then in 2017, I see that he moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Um,
And I'm like, "Who are you to move to do that?"
mhm.
And then I start seeing him at the wall with the tiny hat, and then
Yeah.
he's
The kissing. Yep.
kissing the wall. And then some people say he converted to Judaism.
Mhm. I saw that.
Then I realized that his daughter is Jewish. I realized that his ex-wife is Jewish. I realized that Kushner, his daughter's husband, is Jewish. And then Jew, 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 Jew. And when he did that move, I was like, okay, he's a Zionist.
Mhm.
We go from one Zionist to another
Mhm.
Zionist to another Zionist. Then I was like, okay, we got a little bit of jobs, not many. But he was doing all these weird things with the Zionist state. So I'm like, okay, I don't like him. Because as soon as
Mhm.
you
Yep.
deal with the Zionist state, before I even knew what APAC was, I was like, yeah, no, he's not the right guy. And then we get a potato, Biden.
Yeah. Doesn't
And
know
he's,
what's going on.
yeah, he doesn't know, man. He's just like a face. Like he didn't know where he was. He was too old, man. And people like, Biden is making these decisions. I was like, Biden's not making nothing.
Yeah.
Probably Biden is dead. Maybe that was his double.
Yeah.
But he's also said you don't have to be a Jew to be Zionist. You can be anybody to be a Zionist. And he said that on TV. I was like, okay, he's a Zionist too. And then comes the new year of voting, the new term.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, we got the hyena, the laughing hyena. What's her name?
Kamala. Yeah.
Kamala. She's always drunk. She has no connection. She's a hypocrite, and
Just
she's
the
lying to
DEI hire.
yeah, she's lying
Honestly.
to people, and she wants DI, but she's married to a white man. I think he's Jewish,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah. He is Jewish.
So he's Jew. He's not even white. We know they try to be white.
Yeah. Yeah.
They try to be like they're shapeshifters, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's married to this Jew, and she's talking about DEI and stuff, which comes all from them, anyways.
Right.
Um, and then I'm like, absolutely not. And then all of a sudden, Trump has all these cases, and Epstein was already in the talk. And I'm like, do we have somebody else? And there was nothing else. There's
Mhm.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I didn't vote.
Okay.
I
I
couldn't.
voted for Trump in 2024. It's the first time I could vote.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't
did.
blame you, So
Um.
we vote for Trump. The people that voted for Trump, they're like, okay, the left took this country to trash. Maybe he can bring us out and really make America great again. They fell for it again.
Yep.
And then,
That's how I feel. I fell for it.
yeah, as soon as he wins, it hasn't been what,
Yeah.
9 months, 10 months?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't vote for bombing Iran. More H-1B1 visas. I mean, stuff like that. I didn't vote for that. I voted to bring back manufacturing jobs to America. I mean, to enter the golden age of America, but that just didn't happen. Trump is now way too infiltrated. He's way too infiltrated. The Epstein thing, though, I think if the Democrats really had some damning evidence against Trump, they would have released it. Like the whole Trump and Bill Clinton thing, I don't really think that's all true. But I think Trump is infiltrated. I think he knows that he's infiltrated, and I wish he could do something about it. I wish he could just be like, you know what, this is what has to happen. This is what I have to say. But he's just too infiltrated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the first assassination attempt was even real because his ear
Yeah.
looks healed.
It was that whole thing was very, very weird. And talk about assassination attempts. Charlie Kirk, I definitely think the Mossad killed Charlie Kirk 100%.
Yeah, man. I mean, he changes. He started getting like an
Yep.
awakening,
Start
right?
noticing. Yep. Yeah.
You start noticing. You start asking questions, and they started like punishing him with money and whatnot and threats. And he's like, why can't I criticize another country?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though, he said some nasty things in the past and stuff, but he proclaimed Christ, I think he was just a Zionist because that's what he was taught,
Yeah, that's what he was taught. I think that's how a lot of Americans are. I think a lot of Americans are just naturally taught because, I mean, they control every aspect of society, the media, the academia, the government. I mean, our food companies, everything. So it's like they basically use the U.S. as like their war machine and just like their like big brother that can just protect them and protect their agenda.
So what do you think? What do you think is the solution to end this Zionist grip on America?
Well, I think a lot of Gen Z thinks how I do. I would probably say about 70% on the low end thinks how I do, and they see the overwhelming control that Israel has over our government and just the Western countries, our politicians, every aspect of society. So I think in about 10 to 20 years, hopefully the country isn't too messed up by then, and hopefully we can save it. My generation can save it. I really hope so. But I hope we don't have a civil war or something like that until then. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have a civil war in the next 10 years, to be completely honest with you. Or I think we'll see civil wars definitely in other Western countries, in Europe especially, because they have so much mass immigration and these people don't assimilate.
Tell me a little bit about that. What do you think is causing the mass immigration, and why are people not assimilating?
Well, who's behind mass immigration? 100% the Zionists. They want to like social. I see it literally on the most like summarized version. They literally want to socially engineer society. They do not want to do what how societies are naturally meant to be. I mean, we go into these countries, like Republicans will always be like, oh, we need to kick out all these refugees, blah, 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 refugees, and conservatives in Europe, but they still support Israel. They don't get to the root cause of why we have immigration. We go into these countries, we blow up their people's homes, and they have nowhere to go. So yeah, of course they're going to go to Europe. I mean, we took out Libya. Gaddafi warned, he was like, if you take me out, we'll have mass immigration in Europe because, Gaddafi wouldn't let, sub-Saharan Africans come to Europe. And what did we see? I mean, if you look at like Paris or London or Berlin, I mean, these cities are like just destroyed, and it's their natural. I mean, that was like their natural culture. Like they're just gone, and they're like discouraged. And it's like so funny because Israel is pretty much an ethno state. Israel has to be an ethno state, but left or right, if you're Israeli or Jewish, you encourage that ethno state, but you encourage immigration into the Western world. And immigration is fine to a certain degree. You need to have a merit-based system to that, though, and that's what the West is founded on, not DEI. Not just everyone comes in, but a merit-based system. And, I like to say, this is kind of like what I like to say. I'm like, our enemy wasn't the German people. It isn't the Russian people. It isn't the Iranians. It isn't the Mexicans. It isn't any of those people. It's a set of ideas. It's liberal ideas that had our culture lose one thing after another. And I mean, if a culture is sharing with everybody, what is the culture in the first place? Because if it isn't exclusive to a certain degree, then what is it?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you look at all the stuff that is ruined in America, and
mass degeneracy. People always be like, if we bless Israel, we'll get blessing from. But what have we gotten since we blessed the state of Israel? More abortions, falling marriage rates, collapse of the middle class, mass immigration. I mean, what have we benefited at all from now to like 1960s America, 1970s even.
Yeah,
I mean, massive inflation too.
yeah, I think the right wing goes and creates war, bombs these countries, kills people, creates more hate. Then you have those people want to flee and they can't go to another Arab country because you're bombing it too.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we either the Asia, because it's right there, or Europe, right? Africa, they got to go through Egypt, and they're worried that Egypt might get bombed too.
Yeah.
It's been bombed before. So they're like, okay, either we go to Asia, which a lot of them do go to Asia, or North Turkey, and then Europe. So they're not really coming to America from the Middle East unless maybe in the Nakba of 1948.
Immigration isn't as bad in America. I mean, but in Europe, it's really bad. In Europe, they do a way worse job of assimilating these people. And I think assimilation is very important. And actually, it makes people, respect immigrants more. I mean, when they assimilate. I mean, for example, someone like yourself, I mean, you're very assimilated. And that's just what needs to happen if people want to come to these Western countries. I mean, and then the left, I mean, the left pretty much destroy whatever whatever society that is there, they pretty much destroy it and socially engineer that society. And that's how I see it. Because, the right creates a war, the left pretty much is degenerate. That's how I see it.
So is it the right is fascist, the left is communist?
That's how I like to portray it. But I think if you're truly on the right, I think I consider myself right wing, but I respect every culture. I mean, I love talking to everyone from every culture. I love trying different foods. I love every person. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I would put someone else's culture over my own, or put my own culture over someone else's. I think they're all kind of on par, and everyone has their own positives and negatives. And does that make sense? Kind of.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, man. I respect other people's cultures, but your culture's not going to be above mine. Mine is not above yours. We can both celebrate our cultures, respect each other's cultures, even respect each other's religions. And that's what America's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what America's supposed to be. I mean, and also I feel like now it's pretty much an anti-white agenda. That's how I see it. Like a lot of these governments, it's pretty much just anti-white, and a lot of the people that pushing those agendas are white, but they're not really white. If they're Jewish.
What do you think their plan is?
Well, do you know what I think it's a Kigali plan. I think they literally want to destroy Europe and destroy the West so they can fully control the world, and they can be the number one world superpower. They can have their ethno-state. They can have Greater Israel, and they can pretty much just do whatever they want in the world.
So it's like destroying the new Rome.
Yeah, destroying the new Rome, 100%. Not Ben Shapiro. Benjamin Netanyahu, the other day I saw him, someone had asked him, what book are you reading? He's like, something about the Jews destroying Rome or something like that. They literally America's the new Rome, and that's how they see it. They want to destroy it. They literally want globalism.
We want to know what you're reading now.
What I'm reading?
Yeah.
It's a book by a historian by the name of Barry Strauss. It's called The Jews Against Rome. Jews Against Rome.
What made you pick it up?
Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one.
I mean, okay, let me give you another example. Mass immigration. They always push mass immigration as it's a great thing. And they have all these billionaires love mass immigration. These corporations love mass immigration because then they can pay people less. And then even if you look at on something as a lower level, those workers won't unionize as easily because of cultural differences. Think about it. If you had a factory with all, say, Irish and Italians, they would unionize and seek for better working rights a lot easier than, say, if you have a factory with Indians and Chinese and some white people and some black people. They wouldn't try to work with each other anymore because, people naturally kind of self-segregate.
Yeah. I mean, there's little China, there's little Korea, there's places that are mostly white, there's places mostly black. Jamaicans like to live together. You got Dearborn, mostly Arabs and Palestinians living there, Muslims and Christians, unlike what the media says. And I mean, it's normal to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but like they like push that, and it literally is like they want everyone. They want to destroy whiteness, because they see that as Rome and Christianity, and they want to just they love globalism. I mean, they created globalism, and if there's globalism and everything can be shared, then it has no meaning. That's just nothing. The cultures mean nothing.
Well, there is a new party coming up. It seems like America First, as you know.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of America First.
Yeah, tell me about what do you think about Nick Fuentes, America First, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, all these people, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, the ones that are the loudest and have a big following. We're heading to a new party called America First. It's okay to do business with other countries, but America has to be first. Tell me
100%.
about that and what you understand. And what do you think that would that become something, or what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it's America First is very predominant amongst Gen Z men, 100%. I've been watching Nick Fuentes. I've known about Nick since like 2020. I didn't really start listening to him and watch until about 2023, I would say. I agree with Nick on most things. I personally am not Catholic. I have nothing against Catholics, though. I think Nick is a little bit vulgar sometimes, which I don't think that's the best way to do things. I try to, be professional. Nick himself, and I'm not hating on Nick. I agree with most things he says, but if you look at his personal life, like he's kind of a loser, and I hate to say that, but do you know what I mean? Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, I agree with them 100%, but I think they're late to the game, to be honest with you. I think they're late to the game.
How about Candace Owens?
I like Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens, she kind of discredits herself when she like really goes deep into like conspiracy theories. Like one day she was talking about like how like all of our elites are like lizard people or something. This is like probably a month ago. I was like, if you say something like that, it kind of discredits her whole thing. Or like the other day, someone like threw pennies at Dave Portnoy, and I'm like, I made a video on that actually. I was like, we can't be doing that because then it discredits our actual arguments. And they want that to happen.
He's a piece of work, but we don't need to.
I don't like him. Yeah, we don't need to be hateful, and we don't need to. We got to be high IQ. We can't support low IQ anti-Semitism. We got to have real arguments to it.
We actually need to kill this term, though.
What, anti-Semitism?
Because they're not Semites.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, and also I think it's just kind of like
it's a buzzword.
Yeah, it is a buzzword, but also like, I mean, it's good. Because like 5 years ago, if you were called an anti-Semite, your life was over. I mean, I've been called an anti-Semite, and I mean, my life's not over, so it's good. So a lot more people are waking up. So I really do have hope for my generation, 100%. I have hope for this country. I think things will get bad, but things turn around. And if you look across, Christianity, I mean, we've been outnumbered 100 plenty of times. I mean, they were pushing into Europe. I mean, they were pushing into Spain, and we beat them back. I mean, and, the Reconquista. We did lose the Middle East, though.
You think this will be another country where that group of people will be kicked out of?
I wish Israel could just have a country. Where that country would be, I don't know. I wish they could just have their country, and all the Jews could just move there, and they wouldn't mess with other people's stuff. But throughout history, they've always messed with people's stuff. I mean, they've been kicked out of 109 countries for a reason. I mean, if a kid got kicked out of 109 schools, you think it's the school's fault or the kid's fault?
Yeah.
I really wish they could just not mess with other people's stuff, but they always do. They always do. So what do you think the answer to it is?
Well, they did have a land close to Ukraine and Russia. So even before the Khazarian Empire, where these people converted to Judaism because they're not real Jews, they're in Revelation 2:9, because Ashkenaz is not the son of Shem. He's the son of Gomer, which is the son of Japheth. So the actual term should be anti-Japhethite, right? Or anti-Jewish. Just say it what it is. So actually being anti-Palestine is anti-Semitic, or anti-Iran, or anti-Egypt, or anti-Lebanon. But yeah, like if they want to have their own land, since America loves them so much, maybe they should give them a little portion.
Yeah, I mean, give them like New Mexico or something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if they could just have their own country and not mess with other people's stuff. But they always seem to meddle in other people's governments and other people's business, and they destroy these countries. I mean, after World War II, I mean, I think the West has been on decline since World War II, pretty much. And I think the biggest, like, if you look at charts, everything got messed up in 1971. And do you know what happened in 1971?
No, tell me.
We got off the gold. We got off the gold. I think it's called the gold reserve. You know, like where a certain amount of dollars equals a certain amount of silver, a certain amount of gold, and so inflation went rampant. And these help these big corporations at the cost of a worker, and that's terrible. And everything else trickles down, and it gets worse for average Americans. Destruction of the middle class, marriage rates, everything just gets harder because they create this immense boom and bust economy, and it hurts average people. And that the people who manipulate that and encourage that are of that certain faith.
So is it you talking about when the dollar was not backed up with silver or gold anymore?
Because we got off of it in 1971.
Okay. And then the Federal Reserve, which is usury, which is same group of people.
Yeah. The best way I like to say it is the people they're clipping coins back in the day are still clipping coins today.
Oh yeah, they're clipping more than coins.
Oh yeah.
They're clipping baby's foreskin.
Yep.
So what is to you Zionism and what is to you is Judaism?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say Zionism is Jewish supremacy. That Jews are above everyone else on the earth. And they portray white people and Christianity as the worst things on the earth. They replaced Satan with Hitler. And they want to destroy Western civilization, Rome. They want their own state, pretty much as Jewish supremacy. And then Judaism, I mean, they still deny Christ, but if they don't, they just didn't. I'm anti-Zionist. I wouldn't say I'm anti-Jewish. If Jews could just not mess with other people's stuff, which it's only them. It's not, I mean, Chinese are a little bit, they work for Chinese more than, someone else, whether or not merit-based system. But the West is more of a merit-based system, 100%. But Jews, I would say, they still deny Christ, but Zionism is direct Jewish supremacy.
But what is the difference between them when it comes to the Talmud?
Oh, yeah. So Zionists, they read the Talmud more, which is pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it pretty much just a bunch of rabbis with like ideas and different like talking points and stuff?
Yeah, it's the oral Torah from rabbis arguing about if you're allowed to sleep with a 3-year-old girl or not, and stuff like that. But that's not Zionism, that's Judaism.
Yeah, so they kind
of. Where do we draw the line?
I didn't say it, but you did. Yeah, they're pretty similar. I would say.
Where do we draw the line so we can differentiate? Because they're not helping us.
Yeah, they aren't helping us.
A Muslim is a Muslim. You know what a Muslim is. A Christian is a Christian. You could tell who's a Zionist Christian. They're worshiping Israel. You know who is a true Christian worshiping God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Yeah. You know what is a true Muslim following their holy book and worshiping God. Okay, we got it.
I feel like most Jews are Zionists.
Most Jews are Zionists. 60-70% of Jews here are pro-Palestine.
Yeah,
they're liberal. They're liberal. Yeah. They're mostly atheist, just Jewish by culture. They're not practicing the Talmud because they're not even practicing the Torah.
Yeah.
So how can we know?
How can we know?
We need help to know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do we put a badge on them? On the Zionists?
I don't know. Every Jew I've ever met is very pro-Israel, and they've said very mean things about every Muslim, and I mean, they call us goys. They call us goys. We're
Goy.
goyim. We're cattle.
Yeah,
We're
we're
cattle.
cattle. They
We're
can
cattle.
own
We
us,
aren't
right?
even on the same. We aren't even human to them.
Yeah, but there's Jews that are just not following any
Yeah.
book. They don't care about the Talmud. They're like, oh, this is my friend. I don't care.
Well, why don't
So
they?
I have
Why don't
nothing
they?
against those people, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know why those Jews don't just like convert to Christianity if they, believe like, free Palestine, stuff like that. That's how I see it too.
Well, if they're atheists, they're atheists. You know,
Yeah.
just you can plant a seed and keep it moving. But let's
Yeah.
say they're not going to convert. They don't find Jesus Christ because they didn't even find Moses, right?
Mhm.
So, and they remain like they are, but they're not Talmudic.
Yeah.
We need a way to differentiate who's Talmudic because those books need to be burnt and who's not. And maybe those Talmudic Jews are the problems, not your regular Torah follower, atheist, non-religious Jew, you know?
Yeah. See, you might have different personal experiences, but I think every Jew I've ever met is very pro-Israel, and they're very proud of that, and they don't see anything wrong with the genocide. They pretty much just see it as like a war against everyone in the Middle East. And I mean, I don't know how we differentiate, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Maybe so. I mean, it sounds like Judaism is the problem.
Yeah, it's been the problem pretty much since it's been around.
But I don't support just killing people. So we
Yeah, no,
need,
I don't support killing people. I
we
wish
need,
they could just have their own country. That's what I would do.
well, they got to get out of Palestine.
Yeah, get out of the Middle East, 100%. I don't know, maybe gave them like somewhere in the middle of Russia, or I mean, they could have like New Mexico or something.
They were in Russia. They got kicked out.
Yeah, they got kicked out of Russia.
And then they went to Ukraine. They got kicked out. There's some of them in Ukraine, by the way. Zelensky is a Jew.
Yeah, I knew that.
There's a lot of Jews in West Ukraine. Like they're taking over Christian areas, by the way.
Really?
Also in Cyprus. Cyprus is under the occupation slowly.
Really?
Cyprus is on the coast to Lebanon and Palestine.
Mhm.
And a lot of Israelis are going there buying land and buying businesses
Really? Not surprised.
because it's 30 minutes on a boat
Mhm.
or an hour, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's move on to Ben Shapiro.
All right.
What did you think about Ben Shapiro before? What do you think about him today?
Well, Ben Shapiro was probably one of the first guys I ever started watching when I was young. I've always been interested in politics. So this was probably like sixth grade or something. I was watching Ben Shapiro. I was like, yeah, I love this. He's destroying these, stupid liberals. But now it's just like, you aren't even American, dude. You don't even like America. You would totally, like, he even said in a tweet, he was like, I would get rid of, because the rule to like, you have to be born in America to be the president. He's like, I would get rid of the rule to have Benjamin Netanyahu as our president. He's not American. He's Israeli. No way is he America first.
So he said that he would allow another person from another country be the president of the United States?
Yeah. He said, I would get rid of the law that allows, this is real. Like, you can look this up. If you go on like Rock AI, I would allow Benjamin Netanyahu to be the president and get rid of that law.
Wow, what a
But
slap.
only for him, but only for Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, he said that.
What a slap in the face for the American
I know.
nation.
I know. I don't know. I'm really not too worried about it. Most of Gen Z does see how it is. And I think the reason why we see it how it is because think about boomers. They'll support Israel because guess what? They could come out of high school, get a job, buy a house, have the American dream. But now for us, it's like, go to college, maybe find a girlfriend that's not a and you guys have both of you guys that are working, and maybe buy a house when you're like 40, and all your tax dollars go to Israel. And it's just, it doesn't work for us anymore. So that's where like, okay, well, let's look at the problem. Let's look what's been happening over these past few years, or like since after World War II. That's why I think a lot of boomers like are still like, well, we need to support Israel because fallen for the scam, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal for them because, the system still kind of worked.
Mm, mm. Well,
That's why I think.
we don't want Vance to be the next president because
No.
he's also Zionist.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know who from the left side they're gonna bring from the
I
grave.
I don't think anyone from the left can win. I think if we had Biden or Kamala, I mean, we let 10 million illegal undocumented immigrants into our country over Joe Biden, and that's just terrible. Like, you can't have that. That disregards the whole idea of a nation state. I mean, America isn't a place where just anyone from anywhere on the world can come in whenever they want, and if they don't come in, you're a racist bigot and your life's over. I mean, you got to have it has to be a merit-based system, 100%. I think, honestly, we need to stop immigration in America for at least 10 years just to kind of get our bearings straight.
Yeah. I mean, I came here on an F1 student visa. And I went to Georgia Southern. I did my undergrad, then I did my master's, then I got a work permit. Then I got the H-1B. I didn't get the H-1B while I was in another country like they try to do with India. I was already here for like a long time and
Yeah.
assimilated. And growing up, like for me to come here, it wasn't even a simulation. It's just learning about how
Yeah.
people talk here in the South and what they eat. And I'm like, oh, well, I already live kind of like this. It's just like learning their different food. And I was like, well, I don't really like the food. I'm still going to eat
Yeah.
my food. Then I learned about Mexican food. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, then there's Italian food. And I was like, oh, it's America. There's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
And
to bring
that's what
somebody
America
from
is.
India, on an H-1B visa straight from pooping on the street to come here, you didn't give him time to assimilate or see
Yeah.
if he's compatible.
And rather, they don't even encourage assimilation anymore. It's kind of like, oh, America just like disregard their whole culture and their nation state and encourage your own culture. And that destroys America. And it makes people really hate immigrants too. Once they do that, it makes them really hate them. But when they come in, like someone like yourself, I mean, it's like, yeah, these people are awesome. This is what America is built on.
Yeah, so I got my H-1B visa, and then after that, I applied for the green card, and then I got my citizenship, and that took 18 years, bro.
Yeah, it's a big process, and I mean that's how it should be.
And for somebody just to cross the border or get an H-1B visa, and after 4 years is a citizen, he doesn't even speak English, it pisses me off.
Yeah. I like to hear that.
Yeah, because it was stressful. It's too long. I think 18 years is too long, especially if you're paying your taxes.
Yeah.
You came here, you studied, you want to contribute to the American society.
Yeah, that's a big thing, contributing. I mean, I think a lot of these Indians, they don't assimilate at all. They don't even know English. For most Indians I've met, they barely speak English. And I think a lot of them, they just send all their money back. They take our jobs and they send all the money back to India.
Yeah, well, they speak English. It's just the accent is very hard to understand.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So I mean, I hate it when people don't know the difference between Arabs and Indians, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, it probably hurts your feelings.
I have nothing against Indian people, man. I have my best friend, this Kunal Patel, man, but he's born and raised in the United States,
Yeah.
So he's as American as they come, and he's
Dude.
Christian too. He used to be Hindu, his parents, but he found Christ.
Let's get converted. Yeah.
So yeah, Ben Shapiro needs to go back to occupied Palestine, Israel.
I wonder what Ben Shapiro's ethnicity is. Like, I wonder if he's Polish or Ukrainian.
Probably Russian.
Probably Russian.
Or Ukrainian. One of these. He's probably a Khazar, man. You know about the Khazarian Empire?
I do know about the Khazarian Empire.
Yeah, so he's a Khazar. And his wife is actually Israeli. Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yeah, what do you think about Kash Patel? His wife is
that's a honeypot, bro.
Yep.
She's a Mossad agent.
Yep.
His face changed since he saw the Epstein Files.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, "Yeah, I'll release the Epstein Files."
Let's talk about this right now. That's the last thing we'll talk about. Let's talk about the Epstein Files. What do you think is going down?
So, I see it as Jeffrey Epstein working for Mossad. We know that. Okay. Was Trump probably doing some weird stuff? Probably. I don't doubt it. With Bill Clinton, no. If the Democrats didn't release it, and no one's really releasing it because Jeffrey Epstein's Mossad, and if they said that, a lot of stuff would collapse. a lot of stuff, and then it'd be mainstream, and then everyone would know. I think the death of Charlie Kirk, a lot of people have noticed too from that. But that's pretty much just my summary. And I think they passed it. The House passed it the other day, but it still has to go to Senate. But I don't know how they're gonna really release it. Maybe they'll do something like, oh, we can't really release it because the victims' names, or I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Jeffrey Epstein was working for Mossad. Was it I forget her name, Maureen Maxwell or Ghislaine Maxwell? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah.
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell. Wasn't her dad like in the Mossad, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was 100% a front for the Mossad to get all these politicians, get them on the island with the kids, and blackmail.
Well, Fox News now saying that 15-year-old girls are women.
Really? Fox News said that.
Yeah, they put little vote of women when it comes to something by the age, and for women, they put 15 to 21, 21 to 31, and I'm like, 15 is woman now.
Yeah, that's not right.
Right before the Epstein, and then you have other people saying, well, 15, 16 is not minor, it's not kids. And I'm like,
yeah, that's weird.
It's kids.
Yeah,
you try to make it okay, so when these things come out, they're like, well, she was only 15. She was 15.
Yeah, I also think we are going to see, if this stuff does come out, I think we're going to see a massive recession here in the U.S. And I was actually going to make a video on that today because I think executive at OpenAI, I forget his first name, something Summers, he recently resigned. So I think we're going to see a lot of these executives resign too, because obviously they were probably on the Epstein Island too. And I think in turn, we'll see a recession from that.
I think while this list is coming out and people are being exposed, right before it comes and exposes the heck out of the Zionist state of Israel and kills the relationship of America with that entity and ruins Trump's cabinet, celebrities, ruins America. I believe that Bibi Malkowski, aka Netanyahu, is already a couple of steps ahead, and I believe there is going to be a false flag attack blaming Muslims. Again.
On the U.S. or in Israel?
The U.S.
Okay. Like maybe blaming on Iran or something?
Whether it's going to be in a big location or attacks on churches to make it really hit home.
Yep, and then they'll get all the Christians on board.
Get the Christians back to supporting Israel against the Muslims. Yeah, let's go bomb Iran again.
Yep.
And take Gaza, take Lebanon, yada, yada, yada. But God wins. And I think this is a pipe dream, the greater Israel. He can barely take Gaza from guys with flip-flops and AK-47s. I mean, you've seen the videos, man.
Yeah.
Hamas doesn't have anything. They don't have planes. They don't have cars. They don't have tanks. No, they just have RPGs and AK-47 and tunnels, and they're barefoot flip-flops. I mean, all they have is their God and guns. That's what I call it. That's all they have. And I don't blame what they're doing right now because they're resisting. You know, the reason why there's Hamas is because there's an occupation. You want to get rid of Hamas, get rid of the occupation. You know? And I had these conversations with many people, and I was like, man, let me ask you this. If somebody came, killed your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, your doctor, your teacher, your neighbor, and you're like 7, what are you going to do 10 years later?
I'm going to grow up and fight whoever killed them, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature. Everybody has done it. The Irish people did it. Remember Irish car bombs? You know, I mean, the Auschwitz camp did it, supposedly, against the Nazis.
Yeah, the Auschwitz camp with the swimming pools and maternity ward.
Yeah, and the gym, doors. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It's just, they're still bombing Gaza. Now they're bombing South Lebanon. They're building a wall stealing land from South Lebanon. They already changed the names of the towns from Arabic to Hebrew. Fake Hebrew, by the way. I don't know if you know this. Modern day Hebrew is not ancient Hebrew.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, don't ever get any tattoos of Yahweh, Yeshua in that language.
Yeah. I'm personally against tattoos, so I wasn't planning on it.
That is not biblical Hebrew. and Jesus spoke Aramaic anyways. So if you want to get a tattoo or a painting, get it in Aramaic,
Okay.
if not English. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they created a language, they created an identity, they stole land, they stole the language, they stole the land, they stole the identity, they stole the food, they conquered the banks, they stole the banks, they stole the media, they stole Hollywood, they stole everything. Everything about them is stolen. They're thieves and they're liars, and their father is the devil, the father of all lies, as Jesus warned us in John 8:36-44. And then in Revelation 2:9, people that claim that they are Jews but are not, of the synagogue of Satan. So it's like we can't even call them Jews anymore.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
Jews, but I don't think these people, the Ashkenazis, which are 80% of Jews, are Jews.
Yeah. They're satanic. I mean, they're evil. They manipulate our societies. They are responsible for pretty much all of degeneracy. I mean, they created communism. They even bragged about it. I saw a clip the other day. They're responsible for pretty much all liberal ideas. I mean, inflation, coin clipping, everything. Pretty much everything.
Transgender, abortion,
Transgenderism, yep,
LGBTQ.
abortion.
They have 8 genders in the Talmud, you know?
Really, I didn't know that.
You can Google it. 8 genders, bro. Unbelievable. So I feel like there has to be a collaboration, maybe temporary, between the Christians and the Muslims, regardless of
100%.
the differences, to fight the Zionists
I 100% agree.
and free the
Yeah.
Middle East, and then we can all go back home.
Yeah,
If-
yeah.
you know,
That's a
And
big
y'all
part.
can
Like,
have America back.
Yeah, that's 100% how I feel. I mean, if we could just ally with the Muslims and be like, hey, we need to take these people down. They need to stop, and never again. They can never do it again. And yeah, then all the Muslim refugees in Europe could go back to their homes, and the world could just be peaceful. But I
mean, in
I don't know
America,
how.
there's
I
barely
don't know how we do
1%.
it.
You know, in America, there's barely 1% Muslims.
Yeah, and I think in America, I don't think the refugees. I think the mass H-1B1 visas are really hurting America, and then also they kind of come in with the, it's like, oh well, if it's legal immigration, it's okay, which I personally disagree with, especially in this day and age. I think we have too much at the cost of the average American. But in Europe, it's really bad. But yeah, I think that's what needs to happen. I mean, Christians need to get rid of this notion that Muslims are their worst enemy ever and Arabs are their worst enemy ever, because they're really not. It's these people that control our politicians, control our government, media, academia, everything like that.
Yeah, man. You know, I grew up with an interfaith family. I grew up around Muslims and Christians. Our school was 70% Muslim, and it was a Christian school. There was crosses everywhere. They never broke a cross. They never stopped Christians from going to worship. They actually went to the church and looked around. We speak the same language. We eat the same food. We're the same people. We're the same DNA. And they've been dividing us in all these countries, and they're creating extremist groups that are killing both of us. And we're getting the worst of it because we're minorities.
Yeah, it's terrible. And even Muslims then, they were like, well, if these Christians hate us, why would I not hate them? You know what I mean? And then it's like another cycle. I mean, like another thing I always like just think about in my head, it's like there was no radical Islam before 9/11. There wasn't. There just wasn't.
Nothing existed like that.
Yeah.
There were just regular disagreements in countries like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Without it being bloody and killing people.
Yeah.
It was maybe just
Yeah.
getting to a protest or a fight, just like anywhere else. I mean, look America
Yeah.
right now. That's
Yeah.
what's happening. Well, Jeb, I want to really thank you, man, for joining us today. We talked about a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very good conversation, and I'm thinking a lot, but I really thank you for the opportunity. I really had a good time.
Of course, man. Tell my viewers where they can find you.
You guys can check me out on Instagram, just all lowercase Jeb.Baugh, Baugh. And then TikTok. Did I say Instagram or TikTok the first time?
Yeah, you said Instagram first.
Okay, yeah. TikTok, it's just Jeb_49.
All right, so Instagram and TikTok is where you live.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Well, Jeb, it was my pleasure having you, man, and
Yeah.
good luck with your studies, your aviation school, and maybe one day you'll take me on a flight.
Yeah, of course.
All right, man. God bless you, brother.
Thank you. Had a good
All
time.
right. Peace. All right, guys. The youth, man, the youth are going to change America. I believe in people like him. And I hope we can see that maybe the future is not too bad in the United States of the world and across the rest of the world. So until then, God bless you, Christ is King, and free Palestine.